This episode of Film Riot is brought to you by Domain.com. Welcome to Film Riot Mondays. Today, I'm wearing the beanie for several reasons.
The beans.
One, because I'm tired. Two, because I haven't had much sleep and I'm tired. Three, because we're in pre-production. I'm really tired. Did I mention I was tired?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm not going to mention it. Today we're going to do two things. One, I'm going to announce our cast because we aren't going to actually have the casting episode till after we've actually shot the film. But while we're shooting the film, we're going to be tweeting and Instagramming and Vining and all sorts of stuff. So you're going to see them on set. So I want you to know who they are before we start doing all that social networking awesomeness. And then probably either during the week of production or the week after, we'll do the casting episode and you'll see how we did our casting process. You like that?
Process.
Not too tired to sound classy. Am I right? And then the second thing we're going to do is talk about Adobe Story. I talked about it very briefly and you guys seem very interested in it. So I decided to make the second half of this episode showing you Adobe Story and talking about why I'm using it and what have you. So, I'm tired. So you already know about Todd and Josh. Todd is playing a character named Ian. Josh is playing a character named Charlie, which is a role like he's never done before. He's definitely stretching his acting legs on this one, and I'm excited to see what comes out of it, because I'm pretty confident that he's going to knock this one out of the park. Todd, of course, we know what he could do. He's the Todd. But we also have a cast that I am just really excited about, of people that you've never seen before that we went out and searched for months. First of all, with Tashawn Scott, who is an excellent actor. Really excited about some scenes that I'm going to be directing with him in it. And that's kind of how I know. Like with the people like this, I know this is the person that I want when they're reading their audition. And while they're reading it, I'm starting to think about how I'm going to shoot this scene, picturing them in it and where I'm going to put the camera on their face and what they're doing. When I get excited like that and started thinking in the future, like I'm like, bring them to me. This is the one. And then I knight them. I don't actually do that, but for some reason, that sounds like a thing that should be done from now on.
That should be done.
When we're casting, yeah. We also have Victoria Floro, who's playing Allie. We have Hannah Ward, who's playing Jess. Excited about both of them. Graham Powell, who's playing Blake. And Chris Cleveland, who plays Will, which is sort of like the leader of our group. We also have Brian Brushwood and Veronica playing two of the undead in our film. And I'm also really thrilled to have them on board as well. So it's just a freaking awesome cast of people that I think is just going to make up some of the best acting of anything you've ever seen from us. We're just trying to take everything to a whole new level. These are SAG actors. I mean, Hannah Ward was in a film called Evil Inside, which was in Redbox. I don't know if it's still in there, but it was. But it's just a fantastic cast that I cannot wait to direct. And I mean, we'll even talk about SAG waivers and things like that once we get to the casting episode and the auditioning process, all that stuff. But I wanted to give you guys a look at who was going to be in the film, again, since we're going to be doing that BTS, and I wanted you guys to be able to know who was who and not be left in the dark. Also, if you go to our website, outsidersthefilm.com, we're going to have a cast and crew section, which is going to break everybody. It might be there already, but we're going to have that where it's going to break everybody down who's involved with the film, who they are, what roles they play, etc. So check out outsidersthefilm.com and definitely be sure to follow us on all our social networking so when we're doing the production vlogs, you guys can stay up to date. But now, sponsor, then story. You on website?
Yeah.
Good. How about a .net from Domain.com?
Also, yeah.
Good. Can I tell you something about .nets from Domain.com?
You can.
After I have a sip from my beverage. I'm so parched. A .net from Domain.com is going to infuse your website with credibility. I mean, people will see the .net with the N and the E and the T. They'll put it together and they'll be like, you know what happens?
What?
Reverse that. What does it say?
10.
.net is a 10.
Whoa.
Did I just blow your mind?
Blown.
Get the .com, get the .net, get both of those bad boys. That way if people accidentally put .net instead of .com or .com instead of .net, they're going to the same side, baby, dude. You know what I'm saying? Do some domain forwarding. Everything goes to the same place. You got a central hub of awesomeness. You can get a discount, by the way, off the already affordable service. I mean, the .net is $8.99 a year, but if you pop in that coupon code FilmRiot, what are you doing?
You saving, son!
You're saving 15% off the entirety of your order. So, Pop all that in your domain.com cart, slap that coupon code film right on there, apply it, get 15% off, have a sip of your beverage. Because when you think domain names, you should be thinking domain.com. I'm right on this one.
Logo.
I've been a Final Draft user for a really long time, and I dig Final Draft, but I'm always wanting to find programs that will work better for me, get out of my way more like I'm always talking about, and kind of open the horizons of things that it can do in its awesomeness. And I want something where it feels like it's always updating itself and always trying to, you know, open new doors for that program and be the next thing. So I've tested a lot out, and lately I've been using Adobe Story, which you guys saw and a lot of you were asking about. And so far I am loving it, so I thought I would take a second to kind of show you some screen cap action of it and take you through Adobe Story and its awesomeness.
So here we are in Adobe Story, and this is just going to be a quick run through because this software is actually pretty big and it would take a long time to go through everything. But just as far as writing, it's going to be somewhat similar to most of the things that you know. You come up here and you hit new, and then it's going to give you a bunch of different options of things that this program can actually do, including scheduling, a log line, a pitch, a character bio, a TV script, and of course a film script. Of course, we're going film script because that's what we're writing. And then what are we going to write? We're going to write some stuffs. We're going to click create. And this is going to bring us to something very familiar. A freaking white page with a blinking cursor, the scariest point in any film. But up here you already have the layout of what your title page should look like, so you just got to replace everything here. But to start us off, I'm just going to hit IN for interior. It's going to fish it off. I hit tab, it takes me over. And then I do the next part, tab again, and it's going to bring me over to what times of day or the like that I want to do. Next day, morning, later, afternoon, continuous day. Let's just go with day. Space down, and this is going to bring us to our first action line. We write whatever we want because we're writing stuffs. And then you enter down again. Now you go to another action line, or you could hit enter again and it'll bring up all the things that you want to do. So it's familiar to a lot of things you did before. It's not much of a learning curve, which is nice. And I can either go down and click the thing I want, or I can hit C and go right to my character queue and add the first thing. And what does Ryan say? He says stuffs, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about stuffs. And that's pretty much the gist of it. I mean, if you've used any writing software, you already know how to use this. But what makes this so cool is all the extras it can do. Like if you go to report, it'll create all types of reports based off of what's in your script. This thing is looking at your script, and once you're writing it and formatting it correctly, it's going to be able to tell you how many characters with speaking roles there are, how many in a scene that there is. But if we go back and we open a script up that's already finished, like for instance my tell script, we can open up these side panels and we find some stuff that's really, really helpful. And I've been using this a lot during Outsiders, just as breakout of all of your scenes, just so you could look at this overview blanket look of everything. And you could even drag and drop and relocate a scene if you want, as easy as that. So if you want to replace a scene to somewhere else where you want it to be sooner in the script, instead of doing all that copy and paste, you just grab your scene, you drag it to where you want it to be, you let go, and your scene has now been relocated. I just think that's amazing. You can also click on a scene, and it's going to give you everything that's in that scene at a glance. Click at the close the panel, and then you can come over here. And you're going to get tons of info about your scenes, the running time of a particular scene. You can add in more info like times of day, things like that. It's going to give you the characters who have speaking roles within the scene. So this goes really in depth, not just to write your script, but also to plan the film as well. I mean, we could go back to the home page and then create new again, and then this time pick a schedule, open that up, and then we can select one of our scripts. Click OK, and it's going to begin to populate a schedule for us, giving us the page counts for each scene, giving us an estimate time of each scene, which I just think is amazing. And of course, you can come in here and customize everything how you want it, or say we have these scenes in a row. That's our first day of shooting. All we have to do now is come up here, hit add break, do a day break, and there you go. This is the start of day 2. So this is our first day of shooting. This is now the start of our second day of shooting. Say we want to shoot to there. We add another break, and now that's the end of our second day of shooting. Of course, you can come in here, set times of day that you're going to start and finish, and any other notes that you want to do. It's just super simple. And then as you work on the script, you can then come here and have everything update. It works a lot better than some of the stuff that I was running into. The other thing that's great is some of the templates that they have in here, so you can open up any of these and get an idea of what something like that should look like. So we can open up a sample TV Bible, and it's already filled out. We can look at this and see what one should professionally look like. So if you're needing to make one, you can open this up and look at it and kind of use this as your starting point. So the thing has just a ridiculous amount of assets for you as far as writing your film all the way into making your film. I'm loving it so far. I've been using it for a few months, and I think I'm going to be switching over to this altogether, because one of the other things that I'm really loving about this is if I come over here to my Telscript, I can go to share and I can send this to anybody I want, and I can even give them co-authorship. I can make them a reviewer or just a reader, and all I got to do is add their email address in and click OK, and they're going to receive it in their email. They open it up in their Adobe Story, and it's just a way to really get crazy collaborative. And I have a ton of people read my script, so to be able to do it this way, to just send it to them like that, they can make all their notes, and then I can go in and read them that way and make my changes. It just makes all the difference in the world. So definitely check it out. I think it's worth a go.
Logo. So that's just a quick overview of this software. I mean, this software is massive. The things that it can do is just freaking awesome. I love the templates that they have in there, especially for like new writers. You open that up and you kind of get a gauge off of what a document like that should feel like to some extent, which is really helpful. But just what it can do in the entirety of the pre-production process is insanely helpful. And to keep it all in one piece of software, that's just amazing, including the scheduling, which me and my first AD are working on inside of Adobe Story right now. And the way that you're able to collaborate with people through this software is freaking amazing. I mean, especially for the scheduling aspect of it, but even with the writing, I don't usually write with writing partners, but a lot of you guys do. It is something that I'm wanting to get into, and this is perfect for that. I would say that so far, for collaborative writing, this is the best I've personally seen. So I really dig it. We're going to show more of it when it comes to the scheduling later on, but I wanted to give you guys a brief overview since a lot of you seemed really interested in it. But that's it, which means it's time for my short film suggestion of the week. This one's called Adrift, which is not actually a short film, but one of those vignette pieces. It's all time-lapse footage, and it is absolutely gorgeous. And the main thing that I love about it is how it visually pushes an emotion. I mean, it's using music as well, but it's a great example of, with no dialogue and no like human subject or subject with any form of personality, how you can still push emotion. So check it out right here, and I'm gonna get back to work in my messy desk area trying to pull this film off. I'll see you Thursday.